welcome back to another book review. This is my second book review on this channel. So today we're going to be reviewing Chasing King's Killer, The Hunt for Martin Luther King Jr.'s Assassin. This is my second book review. This is another book by James L. Swanson. I think that's how you pronounce it. James L. Swanson. In the series on chasing down assassins of famous almost like famous people. It includes presidents, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. It'll include them. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to be reviewing today. Is Chasing King's Killer. So I personally like this book a lot. There's definitely a lot of detail put into it. And it's just an overall good book, so let's start our review. Okay, so of course, I like to start with the cons because everyone will get to know a sense of, what's bad about this book and should I consider getting this book. So it's kind of long. It's pretty long. So for anyone who can't read books this long, it's more than 200 pages, so it's like more than 250 pages around. It's like I think it's a little more than 300. But yeah. It might be an issue for people who can't read books this long or just like don't like reading this books, like they get bored of reading a book for too long or stuff like that. But for me, it isn't an issue, so this doesn't apply to me. This applies to anyone who can't generally read this kind of like book. It applies to everyone of that like category, of course. So if you can't read this kind of book, it's going to be a problem for you. But for me, it's not. So that doesn't apply to me. But if you have that sort of problem, then it will apply to you. So let me move on to the pros real quick. Of course, it's going to be more pros than cons, in my opinion. So there's a lot of background information on Martin Luther King Jr.'s life. They talk a lot about the civil rights movement and how he influenced the civil rights movement. They talk all about the civil rights movement in the South and like all across America. Just historical. They talk about the Vietnam War and other political issues of that time. And background information on his assassin, James Earl Ray. They have background information about how he came, what made him want to like assassinate Martin Luther King Jr. And just a lot of background information other than just the assassination and manhunt. And there's a lot of sections to this book. There's like 3 whole sections, and all of them are on different things. So of course they talk about civil rights movement, his assassin, and the manhunt after the assassination. So again, there's 3 parts. So that's pretty cool. I enjoyed that of the book. It's very detailed. A large portion of the book is about the manhunt, which I think it is better that way because usually if everything was like about leading up to that point and then they didn't include anything about how they caught him, it wouldn't be as good. I like this structure better. So it's a longer book and there's more information about the events. So basically if I were to say like this book like crammed all of the information into 2 pages, it wouldn't be as good because they just crammed it. It wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as detailed. They tried to put detail into like 2 pages. It didn't work. So I like it if it's longer. It gives you more information. Like I said, this book has like 3 long parts, and even like a fourth part is all like these like about the civil rights era, about that thing, and then they have the credits at the end, but I usually don't read the credits section, or yeah, the credits section. They have these interviews in the back, so that's just optional. But again, you can like read this book within like 4 days if you really want to stretch it out, or if you want to be like if you want to really focus on the book in one day, I think yeah, you could read it in a day, in a couple of hours. But I personally like that it's longer, meaning there's more information on the events itself. Overall rating, I would give this overall, this book is a solid 5 out of 5. 5 stars. It contained lots of information just other than the general assassination, civil rights era, Martin Luther King Jr.'s early life, about his assassin. They even include information about his assassin's early life, which is just a lot of detail. I mean, the book's about the manhunt for his killer, but they're going out of their way and making it so that the readers know all about like his assassin's life as like a kid or something like that, not just as an adult. Information about the civil rights movement and the manhunt for James Earl Ray, the assassin. Of course, they're going to have information on that. So overall, of course, it's a 5 out of 5. It just contains a lot of information. In my opinion, this was a really good book. And would I recommend this? Yes, if you like this topic. Of course, if you don't like this kind of topic, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to recommend. Um, but even if you don't like this topic, you should definitely, I think you should like at least try the book out because it's really good. It's actually a good book to start off with. There's 3 books in this series on Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, President John F. Kennedy's assassination, and President Abraham Lincoln's assassination. So there's 3 books in this series. I will do another one on the assassination of President Lincoln. So of course, those are 3 books in this series. This one is by far a good starter. This is a really good one. Of course, it is a 5 out of 5. It's really detailed. I just loved it. This book is pretty good. So, of course, I think you should go ahead and try the book out for yourself. So, with that said, I definitely would recommend this book to other people. Even if you don't like this genre, it's a good book overall. So I will do another book review in the future. I will do more book reviews, but yeah, that's the overall book review, my rating for Chasing King's Killer, the assassination, the manhunt for the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.